The Round and Find Out tour has made its next stop, y'all. This time it's Asians. So remember, just a few years ago, Asian Americans sued the government because they felt that affirmative action was giving black students an unfair advantage in terms of college admissions and that black students were taking their place. Well, they worked together with conservatives and got affirmative action overturned. Now, fast forward to today, the Cheeto in chief is wanting to revoke all student visas from China.
I think this is also a huge move against the Asian American community. He's been going after basically every minority, like women, Black Americans, Latino Americans, all using sort of like their own agencies. Like, there's ICE for certain groups, there's the police for other groups, and there's the DOJ for us. A lot of recent Asian immigration to this country has been through the education system, higher education, where people come here for an undergraduate or a graduate degree. And
what's going on with the Asian American community and Chinese International? Is honestly, it's a bit just. And this is why. Now, the international community is not the Chinese American community, right? It's the Chinese American community that, in enemy-like formation, actively destroyed what our ancestors in this country fought for. Now, we fought for equal rights, and they did affirmative action as a minimal effort, they said, for us now to sort of right the wrongs and really try to go out their way to encourage underrepresented, distressed minorities into all aspects of society.
Hey my people, Gracie here once again, welcoming you back to the channel. I am hoping that from wherever you my lovelies are watching this from, you're doing alright and God has protected you and preserved you very well. I appreciate all of you that keep supporting, and of course to those of you that are generous on here that give me super thanks and super chats, thank you so very much. And a big shout out to my members as well that keep supporting me through the membership program. I do appreciate you so very much. We have another interesting episode to look at today. Yes guys, guess the community that has FAF0 right now. Yes, the Asian community that fought against affirmative action. Yes, unfortunately right now Marco Rubio is actually working on revoking their student visas. We have quite a number of reactions in here we are going to look at, and we'll come back and talk about them. I want you to do me a favor, like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this very episode. We'll come back and talk about this.
We have major breaking news right now. Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, has just announced that the United States will begin revoking the visas of Chinese students. The Chinese students that will be impacted include those, according to Rubio, that have connections to the Chinese Communist Party or, quote, study in critical fields. This is the statement that was just issued by Rubio minutes ago on his Twitter. As you can see, it says the U.S. will begin revoking visas of Chinese students who are studying in critical fields. Now, this is very vague, so if you are a Chinese student or you know a Chinese student, spread the word, because a critical field could mean anything from engineering to science to medicine, anything. We don't know what Rubio and the State Department are doing, when they're going to start revoking these visas and ordering the deportation of students from campuses. But this is a significant escalation and could impact thousands of Chinese students currently studying in the United States of America. Spread the word so more people know. I'll have a full breakdown on my Substack, link to my bio, so subscribe for free and follow along for all the news you need to know.
The Around and Find Out tour has made its next stop, y'all. This time it's Asians. So remember, just a few years ago, Asian Americans sued the government because they felt that affirmative action was giving black students an unfair advantage in terms of college admissions and that black students were taking their place. Well, they worked together with conservatives and got affirmative action overturned. Now, fast forward to today, the Cheeto in chief is wanting to revoke all student visas from China. That means that Chinese students from colleges and universities in this country, including Ivy League schools like Harvard, would be expelled. Anti-blackness is biting these folks in their ass. So you had the Latino community find out, the Muslim and Arab American pro-Palestine activists find out, white farmers and small business owners find out, Red states like North Carolina and Arkansas find out, and now Asians are finding out as well. It's wild to me how their anti-blackness and their racism has blinded them to the fact that they are hated by the dominant society just like black folk. And now they are paying the price and they are reaping what they have sown. Oh well.
So now it's all international students that are now barred from entering the US. First, it was Harvard as retaliation for basically Harvard refusing to give over our information to the administration. And now it's all universities. As an Asian lady who teaches at Harvard, I have some opinions about this. We all know that the orange man has been trying to cripple science and higher education in general because he wants to have a fascist dictatorship where nobody knows what's going on or has critical thinking skills or can oppose him. But I think this is also a huge move against the Asian American community. He's been going after basically every minority, like women, Black Americans, Latino Americans, all using sort of like their own agencies. Like, you know, there's ICE for certain groups, there's the police for other groups, and there's the DOJ for us. A lot of recent Asian immigration to this country has been through the education system, higher education, where people come here for an undergraduate or a graduate degree and stay. My parents are some of these people. They immigrated over in the 80s. And now I teach mostly graduate students because I teach PhD students and most of them are international. I can pretty confidently say that these are the planet's best and brightest. A lot of them are ESL and they're just writing entire papers in their second language and publishing them in scholarly journals and making a huge impact on science across the world. A ton of them are Asian. And this is gonna cripple our immigrant communities. And then he's also gonna start going after US citizens who look international at these higher education institutions. That means people like me. For a lot of Asian kids growing up in the motherland, the US is like their dream for higher education. It is known for having the best universities in the world, the most freedom of thought, or like so we used to consider us. It's no longer like that. Everybody's gonna start going other places. They're gonna go to like Oxford, Cambridge, the big universities in Europe, big universities in Asia. At least half of the scientists that I'm friends with are planning to go abroad for their next career move. So like US citizens who are in higher education are starting to like think about going elsewhere, hence brain drain. But yeah, back to my original point. He is retaliating against Asian people for this. Don't think for a second that he didn't know about that study a couple months ago, or that survey that showed that certain groups of Asian Americans are out-earning white Americans by a lot. Like, for example, I think Indian Americans are currently the highest income group in the entire country. Our domination in certain professions like medicine and our high enrollment at top universities, definitely his fan base is mad about that and he's coming after us for it. Even on very like neoliberal publications such as the New York Times, I'm seeing comments that say like, why does Harvard have such a huge international student body? These should be spots for Americans. We shouldn't have so many foreigners at our universities. They're 100% including American citizens who look like me as foreigners when they say these things. They don't realize that so much of the research that gets done at these universities is done by foreign students, and that at least for undergrad and for a lot of advanced degree programs, foreign students have to pay more tuition than American students do because that is like partly subsidizing the domestic students who are on financial aid. And to the Asian Americans who voted for this orange motherfucker, honestly, we started shooting ourselves in the foot a long time ago. Whoever those fucktards were who brought the case against Harvard for discriminating against Asian students in admissions and then completely got rid of affirmative action. Are people getting admitted to Harvard more now? Like, look at what just happened. Look at what just happened. We're gonna have fewer Asians at these universities just by virtue of A, discrimination against Asian Americans, and B, the Asians from abroad not being able to come here anymore. Are you done blaming Black and Latino excellence for your mediocrity, you Asian people who voted for this? Have we noticed that the real problem, which is legacy admissions, which mainly favors white people, have we noticed that that has not been targeted at all? Have you noticed that these students have like literally nothing going against them? Have you noticed that the president has not set any government agency to specifically target those legacy people, those moneyed white kids? I know of so many adults in my own community, Chinese American, who voted for this because they secretly think that they're better than other minorities in this country, including other Asian Americans. They think that people like the Bhutanese refugees who got deported to Central America have nothing to do with us, but they literally don't know that the people in charge can't tell the difference between us and other nationalities of Asian. Just because we immigrated here on a plane to come and study at a prestigious US university doesn't make us any better than refugees. Okay, stay awake. Bye. American community.
What's going on with the Asian American community and Chinese international, is honestly, it's a bit just. And this is why. Now, the international community is not the Chinese American community, right? It's the Chinese American community that, in enemy-like formation, actively destroyed what our ancestors in this country fought for. Now, we fought for equal rights, and they did affirmative action as a minimal effort, they said, for us now to sort of right the wrongs and really try to go out their way to encourage underrepresented, distressed minorities into all aspects of society, just like what you're seeing in apartheid South Africa, right? It's just a very aggressive effort to do it. Now, we all know the facts were that we benefited the least. If they hired us or applied for us, it's because we were the most educated and qualified, period. Because even with DEI, like 4% of DEI positions were black people, right? Like, they're really they only hire us unless we are what they have to take. We know this about them, right? And so this community deliberately went after affirmative action, thinking that it's for the blacks. We told them the whole time, 40% of those top tier universities are legacy and wealthy people of legacy. If you really cared about just reactions, you would not go after affirmative action. And of course, their racism and anti-black bias and adjacency to white supremacy, they thought that they were white enough since they were out earning. What they didn't realize is that white supremacy is white supremacy. You guys have been taking up the top tier in their colleges and making more money than them for 20 to 30 years. White supremacy is white supremacy. You are not part of it. So I know you got rid of it. They're like, thank you. But it didn't even do anything. In some schools, the rates went down. In other schools, it stayed the same. Right? And honestly, we need to know how many were applying afterwards as well to even know if it was like a severe decrease in applications. So for the black community, we're just living life like we always do, because whenever we present ourselves, we have to be better. That is not a joke. When we say we are twice as qualified, we're not joking if we put ourselves in these elite positions at all. And you think we're just talking and you're being arrogant, disregarding us, but you didn't understand what that meant. What that meant, if we're there, we more than earned it, more than anyone else, because that is the standard in which we operate at the higher levels. So no, it didn't affect us, not really. I mean, it did in some areas, but in other areas, it has not at all. Now, you guys being an enemy-like formation, destroying what our ancestors did, this is justice. This is justice. Think about our blood sacrifice for this country and what we did, and we got these different measures to protect us, but we also included other people we shouldn't have included. We shouldn't have included anti-black Hispanics. We shouldn't have included other minority groups and other immigrants. All of you guys come over here and you vote Republican, you diluting our power. We shouldn't have thought about you. We won't in the future, and that's what you're seeing. We will never think about you again. We will never extend our power, influence, any gains that we make to you again. So you got what you want. But think about you trying to destroy our places in these universities, and now you can't even apply to any of them. So don't worry about these top tier schools. And these are for international students, but trust and believe. I did a video on this, and I was talking about they wanted at the Thomas Jefferson School in Northern Virginia, which is heavily Asian people. It's a really good free charter school with like top level learning. Asians were overrepresented, and they wanted to reduce that. And they were trying to take this claim to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court didn't take it. The Supreme Court didn't take it because they also are on board with less Asians. But your white supremacy and thinking you're the model minority and not listening to the one group. We are the one group that has been able to shape this country continually since its foundation. You didn't listen to us. You believe the white supremacist propaganda. Not us when we told you that we're twice as qualified. I mean, I'm a normal black person, not born in poverty, and I retired at 40. Like, This is not even uncommon. But you keep believing the white supremacist propaganda while we keep making moves. So, the Thomas Jefferson story I told you, they didn't really care about merit. They didn't take that up. They're deliberately saying we want less Asian people in our Thomas Jefferson charter schools for middle school kids. You sued and went to the Supreme Court. They didn't even touch it. They did touch the one where the Asian person tried to demolish affirmative action, though, did they? So thank you for dismantling the blood of our ancestors. So isn't it just that not only international Chinese students can't come anymore, and I honestly think that there's two things going on. One, you overplayed your hand. They never effed with you. Two, it's because of what's going on with China. There might be some particular stuff going on between us long term. So it is for that. But no, it's mostly because white supremacy is white supremacy. And think about your community trying to align with white supremacists and what that says about you. And voting Republican, what that says about you, because you do as a majority. Democrats need to never extend themselves for any immigrant groups who vote against us ever again. It's stupid. It dilutes our power. It dilutes their voting power. Immigrants come from, so all I want to say is Democrats will stop in the future for advocating for immigrants who vote against us and dilute our power. How are we trying to help you and you vote against us? Right? We need to take the immigration policy off of our platform. And it never helped us. It only gained citizenship for people to vote Republican. But two, think about the Chinese American community that was like, we want to align with white supremacists. We told them they were white supremacists, and they even saw sign of it. But because it was targeted at us, they're like, whew, not me. And now black people are sitting back going, wow, it's interesting how karma reflects itself. You tried to destroy our admittance into college, and now yours is systematically destroyed. You didn't go after legacy, which we told you. Again, you're not listening to us. You didn't go after the rich kids, which we told you. You didn't listen to us. At the end of the day, it's not bothering us. We are the most creative people on the planet. We can't go this way. We'll find another. You won't, but we will. That's why we're still here, and that's why we're unbothered. Yeah, we care a little bit, and we do see some stuff that's hurtful, but on the other hand, for the most part, we've seen this baby. We knew who they were. We also know that money talks, and you were taking their money and their top places in Harvard. So no, they're just going to replace you with rich white kids and some black kids who are highly talented. Because, baby, this country knows how to extract our top talent, be it in athletics, music, dance, or intellectual. Trust me, they know how to extract ours. And we have a lot of child prodigies in our community because brilliance comes through us all the time. How else do you think we're still here? So, for those of us who can't see the karmic justice, what you did to us with trying to destroy affirmative action is being returned to you eightfold. And you think it's just for the international students, but I'm going to tell you, white supremacy is going to white supremacy. They're not letting you take those top spots. No more. So even the Chinese Americans who are not international, they're looking to see how they can deport you. They're not going to give you an explanation. They said what they said. Okay? They said what they said. Will this mean there's less money and some of these schools will go bankrupt? Baby, yes. And they will choose that again and again. It's just so interesting that, like, what do you think eventually would happen aligning yourself to white supremacists? The only thing you did was just expose your hateful, like, the selfishness of their community, your anti-blackness, antagonistic destruction of what we've worked for. And now you're being, like, denaturalized and not even allowed in. So just understand when you make a deal with white supremacy. And I could say this about the Hispanics being deported. We're anti-black, did not want solidarity, did not want alliance, actively courting white supremacy. They wanted us to be put in their places as if they were better, and now look who's being humbled. You know, that's a painful lesson in justice as well. Like, it's just right back to you. You wanted to humble us, and look at you. Eightfold. So, I just want to point out all of this is sort of directly getting back what they did to us. It's spiritual.
Who is not going to test on the ugliness of this administration? Wow. We have a saying over here. I probably have used it a couple of times, and it goes like "Royagalism kachitao lwerutanyoko," like what you wished to unalive your stepmother, unfortunately it comes and takes your biological mother. Which the moral of the story is never wish others bad, because you never know what you're wishing others might come and happen to you. And I know sometimes, in fact not sometimes, the reason as to why they wish bad on others is because, you know, they don't like them, they hate them. And unfortunately it is the same story that is happening with the Asian community. This community came against the black community, and they were saying black people are victimizing themselves. They are not that qualified to even be getting this affirmative action. You know, they are taking our spaces simply because they are black. Meanwhile, they are also minorities. I don't know if they didn't put in mind that these systems are not actually built to help them, and that the reason as to why affirmative action was put in place is because actually there's quite a number of black people that were qualified, but they were never ever admitted. They were never given a chance to actually, go to these higher institutions. So they don't know the forefathers in the black community that fought to make sure a black American kid can also go to college. They came and trashed all those efforts. Unfortunately, they fought against black American students and black Americans in general, right? But their numbers also decreased because it was discovered that actually majority of them were also benefiting from this. And also a lot of palm-colored people were on affirmative action. So I understand that there is quite a number of people that were exposed that were not even supposed to be benefiting from this. But for them to come and trash this and take this down, like everything, I don't know why they have a problem with anything that is specifically for black people, to elevate them and give them an extra advantage. I don't know why they have a problem with that. Because they be alleging and making up lies, oh, these people are not qualified, it's just because they are black, that's why they are here. Feeding into the same stereotypes of the palm-colored people that are saying, black people don't have like their IQ is low. They're also feeding into that. And now guess what? They sowed hate. The hate they have for black people is actually coming back to bite them in the ear. I understand that they have been bringing money, to those institutions, right? And quite a number of them. I understand that China and Hong Kong is actually welcoming them back, but you want to ask yourself why a lot of them did not choose China and they chose the US colleges. So it's going to affect them. It is. You sow something and you don't know when you're going to reap. But the thing is, as long as the seeds are in the soil, as long as those seeds hit the ground like this, you are definitely going to reap what you sowed, which is hate. Some of these things come after time and you may not know why this is happening. Like you've seen one of the Asian lady in here saying this is a target to the Asian community, and quite a number of them also voted for him. And I understand though that majority of them actually voted for Kamala, the Asian community, right? Yes, they voted for Kamala. But this right here is not going to separate who voted for Kamala and who did not vote. You see the FAF0 right there? Yeah, unfortunately, When you sow hate, for some reason, it comes and it takes all your community, especially if you bundle all together as a community against another community. So it is going to come for those that knew and those that didn't know. It is going to sweep. The wave is sweeping all. And I mean, palm-colored people don't think so highly of this community either. And I wonder why these people don't get it. They have a feeling of feeling like they are better than the black people and all of that, right? Well, let's see who is better now. Because your people are going to be kicked out. Black American students, they are not going to go anywhere. They will stay. So, when you're sowing hate, please put in mind that a time is going to come when one of you or that community has to reap the seeds of the people that sowed. There's definitely one that has to come and harvest what you planted. And when that happens, do not come out to be like they are against you, because clearly quite a number of these people, by the time they went against, black people and affirmative action, yeah, they did not wish them well. Now, the results are here. But let me know what you guys think. FAF0, nobody is going to escape this season. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I think from me for today, that's it. I will see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Chrissy, and I love all of you. Until then, bye.